think you guys should put our esteemed town health officer on any discussions about the compost toilet.
I was just gonna ask if you could share it with me.
Yep, I will, yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Just briefly on the parsonage thing, it's been talked about for years, and it's been an issue that's been beaten to death. And just want to add that, I think the best thing for the town is just not to put any more money into it. I mean, the tarp on the roof is cheap, putting the whole new roof on it is not so cheap. And, frankly, I think the best option that was talked about a while ago, I'm not sure how serious it was, but let the fire department use it for training and do a controlled burn there and just sell what's left. I mean, it's just, it's been a real pain, it's a danger, and let's just get out of it cheapest way we can.
Is it not marketable for sale?
It's marketable, and, as far as a control, I don't think we can do a controlled burn there because of the neighborhood.
We have to see how close it is to power lines.
There's,
Yeah, there's
there's
some
stipulations
issues.
on
Yeah. And
having a controlled burn.
I think you'd have to remove the shingle, you have to remove you have to remove all the shingles before you burn it. Anything that's gonna smoke and pollute, there's a lot of regulations as far as that goes, but the one I was thinking of is, it's in the neighborhood and there's power lines, and I know that another house here was being talked about disposing it the same way, and they couldn't.
Yeah, because it's right too close to the power lines. The
I'm sure
tar-
the property itself, the land is valuable, to be sold, that's why I say sell whatever's left, but how do you get rid of it,
The reason it didn't sell, because it was on the warrant, and the article passed to
Right.
sell it. Because
yes.
when we had it assessed, it was $85,000 by the assessor, so. And I think that building would fetch even more on a regular market if it wasn't sitting on its own lot.
It's not.
So that's part of the conundrum.
But also, the person that had an interest basically fell aside because he thought it wasn't going to get valued at where it was appraised at.
Yeah, I guess he was disappointed in the amount of.
There's also issues with Gill behind too.
Yeah, there's.
Right, yeah.
Subdivision
Yeah.
plan.
So you're saying get out of it as cheap as we can, don't spend any money on it. I
Right.
appreciate that statement.
Final comments from selectmen.
I just have one for Steve. You didn't mention the planning board.
Oh, yeah.
I know there was a subdivision of the church in the past.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mention the planning board in the ex officio reports.
Yeah.
And we did have it, we approved a subdivision over here at the church. I believe it was 13 acres, and it's a done deal.
Is that the Millbrook Church
The
property?
Yes.
Millbrook Church property. And it made a kind of a funny looking lot. I mean, here's, just roughly speaking, there's a lot, and the subdivision is something like that. So it made a U-shaped lot out of what's remaining for the church.
So were they taken out of the church's lot?
This is the church, the church is right here, the parsonage is right here, the river is right there. So they broke off the lot so it would have river frontage, which it does. This is all wetlands in here. It's like, it's not really a developable piece. So even though the lot looks kind of funny, the way the lay of the land is, it makes sense to have a lot like that, and they're using it. One of the objections that was coming up from the public was where this new lot was going to enter onto Route 4 would be right in that blind corner. But the way the subdivision goes, they have a deeded right of way on the church's driveway, so the parsonage has a deeded right of way to that paved driveway up to Route 4, and that's never been a problem, so that's how that was taken care of. And they met all the requirements, so there was no reason to,
Did they say why they were doing it?
well, I guess that they just want the property under the names, you know, the people who live there now. The old minister, the Warners, they didn't come to the meeting, so, you know, I can't really speak for them, but I'm assuming that they worked there for years, and they made a deal with the church to buy this property. What's gonna happen to the church, because I know it needs a lot of repair, I don't know. It'd make a nice town building, Gary, though, I was thinking. Just a thought.
But they're behind on taxes, so.
Well, the tax things would have to be cleared up, and if there's any tax liability for this lot, it still falls upon the person who had that liability to begin with, the church. So, I don't know what their tax status is right now. I mean, as far as what, how much they owe, I couldn't
It's
say.
supposed to be going to court anytime now. What is it, this week or next week?
Who's going to court? The church?
Yeah.
To,
Yeah,
with the town?
No, yeah.
Avatar.
Avatar.
again.
For their assessment?
Yeah.
Because they
Exemption.
didn't get an exemption.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
No.
so, okay. Yeah, I don't know the status of that, but I know that this went through, and I do know that any previous tax bills had no bearing on this because it was checked out prior. So everything looked like it was in order, and it was, you know, the surveyor and the subdivider was Chris Rollins, who's got a lot of experience in the town, and he did a great job, as he usually does, and it went through. And so that's basically the planning board in a nutshell, that subdivision is finalized. Final comments, I don't have any, there's a library event this weekend, isn't there? With the
Oh,
Fogel is having an event, and it's gonna be in this building here,
Yeah.
Saturday.
Something about a schoolhouse.
They're talking about old one-room schoolhouses.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a presentation, and Steve Taylor is the presenter, and he's been in Grafton at least 2 times before. He used to be the agricultural commissioner in the state of New Hampshire, so he's pretty knowledgeable about the state agriculture in old times, so he's always a good speaker, and that would be very interesting to listen to for anybody who wants to go. And that's all I have.
Okay, I got one thing. Grafton Palooza,
Oh, I wanted to bring that up too. I'm glad you did.
that should come to us. Cause there is a lot of stuff to talk about that. Having cops there, having police there, the security, what's going on, who's gonna be there. It's the same with Fogo, we asked them to do stuff, but we need to know what's going on down there. Especially in your guys', we need a plan of attack, well, not really attack, but
Yeah, we don't,
a plan of
Yeah,
execute.
handling the crowds.
it could be
Yeah.
quite a big crowd there.
Could.
And then there's the security thing, so if we need, you know, there needs to be police there, then that needs to happen, and who's gonna pay for any security if that's needed? And no camping is allowed on the rec field, so there won't be any camping, and that word's gone out. I know people have been asking about it online, and I haven't heard anybody say that they can't
No,
have.
there's no camping.
Oh, wait. Pretty sure you're probably gonna need police there.
Yeah.
I know 4th of July, we had a couple instances with alcohol and fights.
Right, there's no
Yeah.
alcohol.
Well, never any alcohol when you're supposed to, but now it finds its way.
Watch out for those brown paper bags. Yeah, well, you remember the rock festival that they had at the Canaan Fairgrounds in 1976? You do remember.
We weren't born yet.
You weren't born yet. But I could tell you that Canaan looked like World War III had been fought with beer cans after it was all over. All the way down Route 4, all the way down to the S-curves. It was like crazy. So,
And that gets you have a private fair way to block off Williams's fields.
Yep.
So they'll park there, go over there and party, because that's not gonna be good if we come up the next day and there's cans,
Right.
castles of made of beer cans in the fields.
yeah, and does that require insurance for that event like that? I know we have the 4th of July event,
Right.
so does this fall under the same sort of
Should
thing?
fall under the same,
Maybe we have to
Who's
check.
promoting it?
Do you want me to check with the fun police?
Check, yeah.
Maybe the fun police.
I mean, I'd rather find out there's a problem now than
Yep.
when we have a problem and find out that we're on an island and sinking.
Be on the lookout for rope swings too.
Only historic ones.
Those are allowed, but not historic ones.
That's when it's long gone.
Okay.
You gotta, public paperwork.
Yep, you wanna do that?
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of our regular meeting. We now have to go into non-public with Sam.
You want me to read the RSA?
Yeah.
We're gonna go into non-public for RSA 91A32A, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected has the right to a public meeting and requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. Can I borrow your pen? Okay, one moment. Members present, I've got Leafs.
What is the reason you're going under?
RSA 91A32A,
Yeah,
dismissal, promotion,
you
and
read the whole
compensation
thing,
of
which
any-
one of them is the reason?
What?
You read the whole section, which one of them
That's
is
just
the
that
reason?
one.
Yeah, it's gonna be promotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking to employee, yeah,
Okay,
and
that's the-
it's definitely related to how we started the day off, and we had the same RSA in that
Okay.
non-public too, so it's a personnel thing.
A motion on non-public.
So Leaf motions to go into non-public, does anyone second?
second.
And we're entering non-public at 7:05 PM. Roll call vote to go into non-public, Leaf,
Yep.
Steve,
Aye.
Ed,
Right.
okay.
Go for 20% raise.
Oh, there you go. We're now non-public.
Well, we just got them cheap then.